Yes,
Excellent.
it's coming up.
Okay. It's coming up. Okay.
No,
I
we can
wanted to.
see. Stacey, are you able to
I can
see? I can.
see.
Okay, yes.
I think it's my name. I'm in the bush. Mm.
Is it visible now? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. So we're on to a very beautiful ride. So journey with me. Um, I would say Napa and team have done justice on really who I am. And we're here to really sit into a great conversation. I would always call it it's a great conversation because it's never goes old. And it's really around building strategic partnerships for sustainable impact. Today, we live in a world where the ability to nurture and strengthen partnership opportunities cannot be overemphasized. And that's why this is a skill set, a competency that every well meaning change maker should possess. And most times people think that when you hear the word partnerships, you probably think it's most likely a strength-based ability in terms of it's tied to certain personality types. Perhaps if you're outgoing, you're outspoken, therefore you are capable to perhaps consolidate partnerships. But if you're an introvert, it's not possible. No worries. We're going to bust some mints in that direction. And I'm going to let you see that it cuts beyond any personality type. And this is something we must all begin to embody if we truly want to build for not just now, but for the long term. All right. So let me take you to my next slide. All right. Today, we will be having a great opportunity to learn a very pragmatic partnership framework that I originally curated based on my journey. You would also have the opportunity to reflect on your own partnership blind spots. And then I have reflection questions that would just jolt you into the next level. Why am I the woman for the job? I've had the privilege of building and stewarding relationships that carry our flagship initiatives from single conversations into lasting institutional collaborations. And I would say a go-to case study is even my relationship, and I would say the current partnership that we're building with Luminary Project. That's even a case study that I can sit into. And what I will be sharing today is not theoretical, but is really experiential. It's my original and working framework that I've used, and I'm putting it in front of you today to identify, build, and sustain partnerships that create real and shared value. All right, so let's move on quickly. By the end of this session, you'll be able to understand the value, see why strategic partnerships matter in today's social impact sector. You'll be able to identify the right partners, recognize potential partners that align with your mission and objectives. You'll be able to initiate and build, apply practical approaches to starting and growing successful partnerships. You will also be able to nurture and sustain, understand how to maintain long-term collaborative relationships, and of course, apply real lessons, gain actionable insights from real partnership experiences that I have curated through my work at Ideation of Africa. All right, so let's get on into the conversation. You belong in this room. I want you to echo that to yourself. If you can use the chat box, let us know that you belong in this room. You belong in this room. You're not an exception. And this session was specially curated for global practitioners like yourself, right? So don't count yourself out, regardless of whatever phase you are as an organization, right? You already hold something a partner needs, and a partner already holds something you need in exchange. So what therefore is the extra that you're bringing on board that stands you out? Now let's dive into that conversation. Why strategic partnerships matter today? The social impact landscape has changed. Funding pools that once felt generous are now fiercely contested, right? We're seeing now the more than ever before, the need to look inwards, the need to operate with an entrepreneurial mindset. You've seen that funding streams are getting streamlined. And when we say it's getting streamlined, it doesn't mean these funding opportunities do not exist, but there are certain requirements that you must fit into. So donors are expecting collaborations, expecting co-investments, and wanting to see demonstrated collective impact. The challenges are also getting more complex. It's what we call, they are becoming more windy. It's like challenges which have a myriad of challenges within them. It's almost like an onion layered with different layers. As you begin to uncover and unpack the onions, you're seeing more layer and layers of challenges. So it gets more complex. Systemic problems demand multi-sector, multi-skill responses. You cannot walk the journey alone. Those who think, nobody has done it ever like myself, you have not started. That's why you must begin to seek out pathways of aligning with those who share same value and mission like yourself. Value must be shared. Sustainable impact is built with others, not delivered to them. You are building sustainable impact alongside others. You are co-designing and co-creating, and you can't do this alone. It's a partnership. It's a joint venture. And that's why strategic partnerships are how organizations like ours extend the reach, share risks, pool expertise, and build the credibility that unlocks bigger opportunities together. Now, no organization, however visionary, can carry the weight of transformation alone. Partnership is not a nice to have. It is a survival strategy in today's social impact landscape. You want to remain competitive. You want to remain above board. You want to remain relevant. You must think partnerships. So don't be one of those, when you hear competitive, when you hear the word competitive, we're not talking about unhealthy competition. We're speaking about healthy and collaborative competition, right? Because as competitors, you have the capacity to learn from one another, right? It's a vast pool. It's a vast ocean. There's so much in store for everyone. And even as a silo institution, you can't harness the weight and the depth of capacity required alone. That's why you go as a collective force. And that's the importance and imperative around building strategic partnerships. Now, I leave you or start with a very reflective question. Where in your current work are you trying to go it alone, when a partnership could carry you further and faster? I want you to hold this thought, right? We will build the two to answer this in a bit, but I want you to write it down in your journal and just reflect on it. When you look back or you begin to assess your current work, where are you trying to do it alone, execute alone, when you require a partnership that can carry you much further and faster? Now, this takes us quickly into my original framework called the value framework. Echo it with me, say the value framework. I want to see you pop it up in the chat box. Use the emojis to know that you are following. Excellent. The value framework. And Over the years of building the relationships behind our work, across AMS, across visionary retreat, across development dialogue, across many of our, I would say, flagship initiatives, I have distilled what consistently works into one working framework, which I have called the value framework. And the value framework sits or starts with the very first letter, right, or model around vision alignment. The second sits into access and approach. The third sits into leveraging your unique strengths. The fourth part of the framework sits into understanding and leveraging trust. And then the last part of the framework sits into evaluation and evolution. Now, let's begin to unpack the value framework, starting with vision alignment. Partnerships thrive when missions align, not merely when interests intersect. Now, with my work at Ideation of Africa, every time I'm seeking out pathways to consolidate partnerships, the first beeper, the first, I would say, filter through which I am engaging, the first lens through which I am building or desiring to nurture, steward a potential partnership is through the lens of vision alignment. I am just observing and intently understanding how the potential partner's mission aligns with our core mission and vision. So, within the vision alignment model, you must seek out organizations whose why echoes your own, not only those with useful resources. That is a disservice that many change makers find themselves in. Many times when you hear partnership, you think, go and list out the things I need, and then go out there to start saying, this is what we need. How can you partner with us? This is what I want and what we need. It's good, it's great. But beyond saying this is what and what we need, can you first start off from the place of the why? Okay, we're seeking this partnership resources. Then we begin to research into organizations and then ask, why does this organization exist? Then you're looking at their why, then matching it, what we call doing a match, matching it with your own why and ensuring that there is an alignment. Because when there is a misalignment, you are already building on the wrong foundation. And that partnership opportunity will not last. The second, you must test alignment early. What change is this partner ultimately trying to see in the world? You must see it. So when you're getting into that partnership conversation, you're trying to negotiate or arrange for a potential partnership exploration call. When you get into that call, this coffee call where you get to know much more about one another, this is what you should be testing for. What change does that potential partner ultimately desires to see in the world? And then you're matching their change, their impact goal with yours. Is there any alignment? Are we headed towards the direction? Or is that a part of their vision that aligns with a part of our work? The third, a resource-rich partner with a mismatched vision will cost you more than it gives. So that's why you find many people, they become encumbered with the kind of partnerships they consolidate because they are first fixated with what is on the other side, what resource has to be offered. Oh, it's a funding, I'm jumping on it, without first matching their values, matching their vision, ensuring there's that alignment. They jump into it and then they get their hands burnt, realizing that, oh, we're not who headed in the same direction. They are seeking out those who can attain this, sort of impact. And we are seeking out, this funding opportunity, this resource opportunity to attain this other type of impact. So a resource-rich partner with a mismatched vision will cost you more than it gives. Now, let me leave you with a second reflective question. Think of a partner or perhaps a prospective partner whose vision you have never actually tested against yours. What would that conversation reveal? Right? If we were in person, I would even have taken, a response to this, but we can't do that. So maybe at the tail end, if you would love to answer this question, you can spring it up when I get into the Q&A segment. But think of a partner or prospective partner whose vision you have never actually tested against yours. What would that conversation reveal? Right? So keep that thought, jot it down, and we can come back to it. Now, the second part of the framework, of the value framework, is assess and approach. Assess and approach. Identify the right partners deliberately, then approach with intention, not a vague hope. There is what we call, leveraging a mapping strategy to how you explore potential partnership opportunities. So you map your landscape. Who shares your beneficiaries? What geographical interests or domain do they thrive in? What's their sectoral dominance? And how does this play positively and negatively to the value you're desiring to consolidate? What are their strategic goals? And Napa is here. If Napa can recall very vividly, when we got into that partnership explorative call, these were the things we were exchanging to better align and understand ourselves. The second is research before you reach out. Understand the priorities, pressures, and current partners. And the internet has given you that opportunity engine. You are a click away to understanding your potential partner. So don't be lazy. Research. Now let me tell you a little story, right? Even or starting using Luminary Project as a case study, right? So I received a very exciting email invitation about a potential awards ceremony that was coming or happening some months back. And I saw it. I didn't sort of assume that the organization was another organization that I had in mind, of potentially consolidating a partnership with. But nonetheless, I looked through and I was like, okay, this is an invitation. I looked through my calendar. It looked like everything was a bit tight, but I'm like, this looks like a great networking opportunity. Let me ensure to be in the room, right? And I got into the room, stepped into that room, had a great time, had the opportunity to witness, the very exemplary and exceptional work by the Luminary Project team. And when I was done, I did not leave the room. So many a times, the mistakes you make is you don't know how to leverage industry events as your, I would say, your base, your networking base to nurture and steward potential partnerships. When I got into the room, I saw like-minded change makers like myself who I had perhaps partnered with or facilitated on their platform. I knew them. We knew ourselves. And it was great. I even saw some persons who were part of our ecosystem who were also receiving awards, on that day. But I didn't end it there. by taking my bag and leaving. So when I was done, as interesting as it would get, Jasper also was part of an ecosystem that I also lead. And then, she was excited to see me, excited to, also see that I, came into the room. And right there, I just said, I want to see your CEO. I want to meet with your CEO. Like, Jasper is right on the call. I want to meet with your CEO, take me to her, and, I would love to just have a conversation. I didn't even go into more details with Jasper. I just said, initiate that. And she had the introductions done between myself and Napa. And right there, myself and Napa had, exchanged pleasantries. And from there, I was like, this is what we do. And I'm definitely seeking out, the opportunity for us to get on a discovery call and just see strategic pathways of collaborating and just building together. And here we are. So many times you undermine and despise opportunities that sometimes seem like, okay, it's just an event. And you're saying to yourself, I'm just so tired. Oh, Lagos rains. They are disturbing me. I cannot go out. When you should be zooming into industry events, conferences happening around you. And then you're looking at, I must be in the room. Whether it's free or it's paid for, I must be in the room. So map your landscape. Understand, the beneficiaries, the geographical interests, the sectoral dominance, as well as the strategic goals. Research before you reach out, right? And understand your priorities, pressures, and current partners. I told that story intentionally for me to drive home this point, right? And for you to know that potential partnerships start in the mannerism of the story that I have shared. Many times, the partnerships, people that I have, partnered with across our work, impact work at Ideation of Africa, just started at events, started just with meeting these persons at events, not even knowing them from Adam, but being confident and knowing that, okay, there is a value exchange and there's just something we can do together, right? And there is just ways that we can add value to one another and then we exploit. So don't ever say to yourself, there is nothing you don't have. That's why this assessment is key. We said first, vision alignment. The second part of the framework says assess and approach. So that you're not going out there without a clear strategy in mind. Do your homework. Assess. It's like a farmer who wants to grow or cultivate a land and doesn't go out there to understand the landscape, understand the type of soil that exists within that land before it starts to plant. But says, oh, everyone is planting cocoa and then decides to plant cocoa in a rocky soil. What will happen? So sit with that inside. Approach with a clear, specific ask. Precision signals seriousness and respect for their time. You heard my story. When I got in there, I didn't waste my opportunity. I didn't waste, the introduction. I didn't get in there and say, just exchange. We smile, we take a picture together, which is great, and then we move on. But I approached with a clear ask. I knew what my ask was, and I was deliberate and strategic with it. And I went for my ask. Many times, many of you are saying, you don't know whether it will be well received. Just go for the ask. And I made my ask with precision. And when someone says, okay, this person, you have introduced yourself, and since you're going for the goal, there's a value exchange here. And they see that you're serious-minded. They'll definitely explain that you're not wasting our time. And then when they get into that explorative call, you also sound like you have your acts together. You come in strategically into that call. And Napa is there, I came in and I knew, these are the potential. Can you hear me, please? Oh my God. Please confirm that I am not. Am I on?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
yes,
Okay.
yes, we can
Okay.
hear you, ma.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. Has this been valuable? Sorry, there was a call coming through from my end. I think it's another on another device. But I want to know, has this been valuable thus far? I want to just do that quick check-in. Okay, I can see the envelope is going up. Excellent. Excellent. So let's continue the conversation. All right. So approach with a clear, specific ask, precision signal, seriousness, and respect for their time. And let me not also use, I would also explore some other examples beyond Napa, because you can say, Napa is the CEO, and you two now, you are a C-suite executive, right? It's so easy for you. It's so easy for you to say that because you're a C-suite executive. It's easy. But let me tell you that I do not look down on individuals that I interacted with. I got in that room. Jasper even well, Jasper can confirm it. When I got there, when Jasper introduced herself to me, oh, Director Wancho, this is it. I couldn't even recall who she was. But I was pleasant. It was then as I asking some questions, okay, this person, oh, I'm like, nice, lovely, and we connected. But some people would just stop there and say, okay, maybe it's Jasper. Okay, she's even like a mentee. Nice to see you. And then you ended there. But I went for my ask. And from the ask, I was saying, so sometimes it may not be, I want to see the CEO. It could be, this is the opportunity. Does this opportunity exist within this organization? How can I exploit? Another example I could cite was of another financial institution we were seeking pathways to partner with. And I'd been pursuing them for a long time. I had someone who I knew very well in that institution, right? And I kept saying, how can we partner? How can we, kept doing my check-ins. And when the opportunities came, I kept saying, we are looking forward. When we were exploring an initial opportunity, I kept being in their radar, not like a pest, ensuring that when this person invites me into, his personal, let's say, events, and even corporate events, I make out time to be there. Because that's how you are considered. But when you're time, you have the opportunity. Most times you may not consider the opportunity that day. But just because you were in the room and they saw you, they see how you show up for them. You just know that, I cannot. There must be a pathway. And there's even that value alignment already. There's the vision alignment. Let's see how we can consolidate. And then, boom, the opportunity opens up where we could even, better serve our ecosystem. And then we're able to leverage it. So most times, you are nurturing it for the long term. It doesn't happen speedily like that. But you must have the gravitas. You must have the resilience to pull through that opportunity. And do not undermine such opportunity. All right, let's run quickly because I really want to take on the Q&A. So third reflective question. What's one organization you have been meaning to approach but haven't? What has actually stopped you? Write it down. And maybe when we get to share, maybe I can take one or two questions in this direction. I don't want to bite into my time. If not, if I had more time, we could explore responses to this. But that's one organization you've been meaning to approach. Why haven't you approached them? And what is actually stopping you? Now let's take on the next part of the framework. Leverage strengths. Every lasting partnership creates shared value. Know what you bring and what you need. Many times people break their backs and break themselves because of the lack of understanding around this. You have not even gotten to understand your strengths institutionally. How then can you pitch that strength when the opportunity arises? Napa is here. Luminary Project team is here. When we got into our first explorative call, I was able to pitch what our strengths look like and how those strengths come in handy and what the opportunities are. I painted the picture. And the Luminary Project did the same in exchange of also, positioning their strengths, just like I did same. So there is a strength potential, a strength quotient on both sides of the coin. You don't have to struggle. Just bring what already exists, what already makes you shine. Bring it to the table. Don't despise it. And exchange it. Right? So build a compelling value proposition. What do you uniquely offer this partner? Let me zoom into this a little bit. You must also understand or nurture an ability to craft value propositions in alignment with each partner you're seeking to consolidate a partnership with. Don't just be like those people who do copy and paste. You just have one deck. Your decks are nice, but beyond the decks, when you get into that room, you must be able to paint a vivid picture of what that value proposition looks like in the context, right, of your partner, potential partner. But many people just think it's just about the decks. We do nice sounding decks and they just keep sending the same thing. You have lost it. So when you get into those rooms, get into those calls, you must know how to leverage your compelling, build it out, and leverage your unique, compelling value proposition. The second, map mutual value explicitly. What does each side gain and by when? Luminary Project team is here, Napa is here. When we got into our multiple calls, we were able to say what is the gain on many spectra, right? On a broad spectrum, we were able to say what does it look like, both ecosystem-wise, institutionally, brand elevation-wise, financially. What does it look like? So when you say, you just don't want to bring, but you must know, even when you get into commercial, there must be a way you talk about money that it also does not make you look funny. But when you still talk about money, it's the potential partner understands that, okay, the way you are speaking about the money, you're not speaking from a place of greed, but you're speaking from a place of, we want to be a going concern. We want to continue to build and, build sustainable impact. But we can't do this if we are not building sustainable revenue models to power this. And that's how you are positioning yourself. So map mutual value explicitly. What does each side gain? If it's a community partnership, you must be able to specify the type of partnership and what the value exchange will be. Don't try to say, because you're trying to satisfy the potential partner, it now becomes lopsided and one-sided, that you will now become frustrated because there is no value exchange for you. It now looks like, okay, we're just, it's not there. But when you were supposed to speak up before you tidy out and sign off on the MOU, you speak up in those meetings, you negotiate, and before the MOU comes through, you are ensuring there's the alignment, right? And then when the MOU comes in, we are putting in place partnership metrics that helps us measure the progress, the impact that we're building and making together. The third, designed for reciprocity from the start. One-sided asks rarely sustain beyond a first project. And I think I said this already. When it becomes one-sided, you cannot last because there will be frustration. The one side will become frustrated and the partnership dies a natural death. All right, reflective question 4. If a potential partner asks you right now, what's in it for us? Could you answer it in one sentence? When a potential partner or even a likely partner, potential partner asks you right now, what's in it for us? Off the top of your head, will you be able to answer in one sentence? So jot it down. We'll come back to this. The next part of the value framework is understand and trust. Hey, trust is the currency of every collaboration, and it is earned before it is spent. It is what? Earned before it is spent. And there are different ways to earn trust. There are different pathways to earn trust. Right? And the way you can earn trust is to show that you are a person of your word. When you say A, it is A. You are a person of integrity. You are not two-faced. right? You are not shady. You are straightforward. It is earned before it is spent. And there are many ways. When we say this is what we are deciding, it is so. If there is need for clarity, we get on that call. We discuss to attain that clarity. If nothing is clear, we converse. We have those conversations. We are clear. We are transparent and open-minded. And where clarity is lacking, we search it out. We don't leave room for assumptions. That's where many people, instead of asking the right questions, you then assume. You are just a mail away from asking the right questions that will continue to strengthen trust, or you don't do the needful. Trust is a currency. It's the currency of how you even nurture and deepen relational intelligence. You know, when you are consolidating partnerships, you require relational intelligence. You require relational intelligence. There's a way you nurture and steward partnerships. There are some people where just because you're observing them, you know, you can't even make your ask from the very first day. And I've done that many times with many people. You just exchange pleasantries. You are warm. You converse nicely. But you take something home that helps you follow through with them and build a relationship with them. And when I say build a relationship, it's not a marriage. It's not like you're trying to toast a brother is trying to toast a sister. You know, it's not like that. You know, that means you are in a call, no, but you are seeking what do they value? In exchange, what does this other person value? Okay, what exists within their program typology that we can position to even help them with? So trust is earned before it is spent. So invest in a relationship before transaction. People partner with people they trust. And I've spoken to this in regards to relational intelligence. Invest in relationships. That's why you heard me say many people, they would invite me to places. It's not because it's convenient. I'm saying I will be there. And I'm giving you my word. I will be there. They invite you for their book launches, their events, personal events. You will be there. You will make out room to be there. And you would even purchase the book. Invest in relationship before transactions. People partner with people they trust. Communicate transparently, including honestly about your limitations and constraints. If there are limitations, be real. Don't overpad. Don't misrepresent yourself. Right? Don't misrepresent yourself. If there are limitations, be upfront. Be transparent. Be honest. Share. Communicate the constraints. Small, consistent follow-through builds more trust than grand one-time gestures. And I've shared some of these practically through my examples. Now, the fifth reflective question. Think about a partnership that struggled. Was it truly a strategy problem or a trust problem? So reflect on this question. And this takes us to the final part of our framework. Evaluate and evolve. Sustainable partnerships are reviewed on purpose, never simply assumed to be working. There must be evaluation metrics in place, impact measurement metrics in place to evaluate the partnership. Right? So you must build in checkpoints. What's working? What needs to change? What should end? Celebrate wins publicly and specifically. Recognition sustains partner energy. And that's why when we are unveiling our partners, we do it with pomp. We do it with prestige. We do it with honor. Because that energy is part of it. As you're celebrating, people are excited. And the partner too sees, okay, you're recognizing us. Right? And it's the same way. It's the same valued exchange. Course correct honestly and early. Agreement should evolve as context evolves. So we're saying this is what we planned from the get-go. We have tested it, it's not working. We should quickly get back to German and say, okay, maybe we need to redirect in this path. We need to view things from a new lens. We get into that strategic meeting and we review things. And then we re-strategize. But it's evaluation, putting in place those evaluation metrics that strengthens the pathway of evolving, right? Evolving sustainably. So the sixth reflective question: which of your current partnerships hasn't been revisited in over a year? What might renewal look like? Maybe there's just a potential partner that you have, rather a partner that you have consolidated partnership with in the time past, but you didn't even bother revisiting it. So this may just be that call to, let's go back, let's evaluate it. Let's sit into it and evaluate what's working. Okay, what worked? Can we also get into that one-on-one conversation with the current partner and communicate these evaluation reports, and then begin to see how can we strengthen and deepen renewal, and what would this look like? So let's touch on quickly on common partnerships, because this was part of what I am required to deliver on today. I want you to also see what the common partnership challenges look like and how can we overcome them. Misaligned, number one on this is misaligned expectations. Solve it. Put agreements in writing early. A simple MOU outlining roles, timelines, and outcomes solves this. That's why when you're not clear, if you have to get on a clarity call, initiate it. Thank God the Luminary Project is here, right? I continue to model this. If something is not clear, I think we need to get it that call to finalize. We get on the call. We have the conversation. Just to ensure that there is that deepened alignment, deepened vision and value alignment. So misaligned expectations. When there are misaligned expectations on both ends, you don't put things in writing. It is not clear. It's not domiciled, documented. Then it gives room for this. The second, power imbalance. How do we solve it? Name it directly. Define roles and decision rights transparently from the outset. Who is doing what? These are our strengths. So play to your strengths and you specify it. These are our strengths. We play to our strengths, we specify. We define roles. And we have that tracker in place that helps us check in with one another. Track what is being done, what is being attained, and where we are. Slow decision cycles. How do you solve it? Designate a single focal point on each side. Empower to move things forward. What did we agree on? Oh, who is doing what? And you're doing check-ins with one another, just to be sure that, okay, are we on the right path? Is there anything delaying the process? What do you need from us? And all of that. The fourth is one-sided energy and fatigue. How do you solve it? Build shared accountability systems. Ensure regular check-ins where both sides report progress. These four challenges that I have highlighted, if tackled, will help you strengthen and nurture value-aligned partnerships and partnership opportunities. Now, what are some of the lessons from building partnerships at Ideation of Africa from my own lens? And I've shared this in the course of today's training. Now, number one, vision outlasts funding. The partnerships that endured beyond the single grant cycle were the ones built on shared vision, not shared budget lines. So we have had partnership opportunities that we continue to consolidate year in, year out, right? Because there is a clear shared vision. We understand what each person brings to the table, and we understand how to serve one another's vision. And we strengthen this year in, year out. The second, nurture beats paperwork. Consistent check-ins, not just signed MOUs, right? Continue to keep our programs both AMS, Visionary Retreat, all the partners we brought around engage year in, year out. So beyond the signed MOEs, we are checking in with you. We are here again this year. Oh, we're coming in for this, And check-ins is just a WhatsApp away, an email away, a call away. That's the check-in I'm talking about. They are both formal and informal channels that you can deploy. Clarity earns trust. Being upfront about what IJ could and could not offer built more credibility than overpromising ever did. And even the Luminary Project team is here. We're clear on what our strengths are. We're communicating this. What is clear, right? And it's clearly communicated, right? So that you're not overpromising. So I have an exercise. I would share my slides later on with the team. I don't know how they will get it across to you guys, but also I'm still using my original framework. I'm going to leave you with an exercise. Because I'm a born teacher, you must go home with an assignment. So you must design what I call your value partnership map, right? And the instructions is as follows. Choose one real or aspirational partnership, whether existing or one you would like to pursue, right? Map it across the 5 value prompts on the worksheet. The value prompt, V stands for vision alignment, A stands for assess and approach, L stands for what? It stands for leveraging strengths, U stands for understanding, leveraging on understanding pathways to drive understanding, strengthen understanding, and build trust. And the E part speaks to evaluation and evolution, right? How do you create this? So use the value prompts on the worksheet and map out, right? Map it across the 5 value points. Then, of course, I know we can't do it now, but maybe later on you can share and tag us, on social media to say, hey, this was the gap you observed. And if you can maybe do it in the Q&A, if you can do it quickly, you can share the gap you observed and I can explore further insights around it. Yes. So now let me also leave you with some questions that you can work with as you work on this within your worksheet. So your partnership and mapping, you put it there. Vision alignment, you're trying to understand the vision alignment, so you must be able to answer this question. Does our vision genuinely align with theirs, and how does it align? So you must answer that question. Assess, why are they the right partner? Have I researched them? You must answer that question. Leverage, what do we each uniquely bring, and where's the mutual value? You understand, what will it take to build real trust with this partner? Then evaluate, how and when we will review whether this is working. So you answer that clearly. So these are the key takeaways before I close out. Align on vision before anything else. Approach potential partners with intention and research. Design for mutual reciprocal value. Build trust deliberately and communicate honestly. And review and evolve because sustainability is a practice, not a one-off event. It's a lifelong practice. All right. So I'm leaving you with a quote. Alone, we move fast together, but aligned by value, we move far and we move sustainably. Thank you.
This has been awesome. Dr. Manja, thank you so much. I don't know if Jasper is able to speak. Jasper, are you there?
I'm able to speak. Good evening. Wow, has that been an amazing time? Look, let me see your comments. Let me see. I want to see. I want to see. How are you guys feeling? When I told you guys that we are in for, a bomb, this evening, it felt like I was just speaking plenty English. But this has been so good, so good. Director Banjo was so grateful. Thank you so much for sharing from your wealth of experience and your knowledge. In fact, this framework, as I'm thinking about it, I'm asking myself, is like even me, I need to go back and ask myself these questions, what that I'm even doing. And this is not even just about the social impact generally. You can apply it to your life, you can apply it to your relationships, you can apply it, even in the corporate world. And this is just so amazing. Thank you so much, Director Banjo. Without wasting much of our time, I mean, there's so much I would have loved to do recap, but my notes is filled, right? But so I think we'll just take one or two questions. If there are any questions, you can just quickly leave them in the comments so I can read them quickly. I would have access to mute our mics and ask, but if I give that access right now, we're going to be till 9 p.m. because Director Banjo is ready. She's ready for everybody. Yes, but because of our time, let's just take one or two questions. So if there are any questions that we would like, Director Banjo to speak into, or maybe, yeah, I feel like I like the way Director Banjo asks us to go about the assignment you gave us. I think it would be a good thing that you go over it and ask yourself those questions, those reflective questions, and just put it on social media to say, oh, when I attended TLP masterclass series, this was the framework that we learned, and this is how I'm applying it to the work that I'm doing, and let's just make a buzz around it so that more people are able to see the good work that we're doing at TLP. So please just drop your questions in the chat. Okay. Time one, Mahmoud, can you do that in 30 seconds? Can you speak in 30 seconds? If you can do that in 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate this session. One of the best I've attended here. I'm Tahir, the partnership lead at Impact Hub Lagos. I have a single question. I've been thinking, when will be the time to dump, or maybe to reject, or to back out from a partnership? More specifically, when it is one-sided or energy partake from one side of the organization, when would it be the right time to back out? Thank you.
I love that. That's such an excellent question. So let me start from the beginning. From the beginning, from the very first moment you began to seek out opportunities to consolidate that partnership opportunity, you must define the timelines. So we want to start first. Oh, it's a 6 months partnership engagement. It's a 1 year partnership engagement. So we're here together for the next 1 year, and we're able to assess ourselves. Now, in a case where the timelines were not clearly communicated from inception, so you didn't define what the timelines look like, whether it's going to be a 6 months or a yearly partnership engagement, or whether it's project-based. So once this project cycle ends, the partnership, we know that we have come to the end of that partnership. If that didn't happen, then you must get on a call. You understand it? You must make out that time, officially write to the partner to seek out a one-on-one meeting with them, right? So that in that meeting, so that I don't want to just put it in writing, because writing sometimes can be misconstrued, because you're not able to properly articulate your words in verbally and explain yourself comprehensively. They may just think, okay, why do you suddenly want to say this ends within a year or 6 months? But when you say, oh, thank you so much, you appreciate them, thank you so much for this partnership agreement, this has been, even if in a case where there has been one-sided, you will not sound like that, right? In that mail, you would appreciate them. But then say, initiate and negotiate for the call to say, we need to get on a call to review. Remember the part of the framework, evaluate. We need to evaluate, and you don't need to necessarily use the word evaluate when communicating. You must understand, what I say, understanding relational intelligence. You must know the kind of word you would use to say, oh, we just need to get on that call to just, reflect on our goal, on our traction and what we have attained. You use nice sounding words. Why they not get in there? You know what you are gauging for. You know what you want to measure, and you know the answers you're seeking out. You now engage them, right? And if necessary, if it's a call you need to record, you seek their permission to say, can we have this call recorded? And if you also think, okay, maybe if you record the call, in recording the call, it will make them uncomfortable. You will be like, okay, we exchange, we have the conversation, but you must what? You must produce a detailed minutes from that engagement. And the moment the call ends, you are, based on everything discussed there, you exchange it. And I suppose supposed to have that part. Most times when you get on calls, people don't know the importance of saying, when we're done with the call, I want to see the minutes or this call. You don't think you just go there and speak English. No. So you must request. Is it coming from us? You must request for the call. We must see. So people just get in there. You will say, you will talk from now in the next 30 minutes. There is no minutes, nothing documented, no proper documentation done. It's filed up somewhere to say this is what we agreed. So that if there maybe the next subsequent calls, there is I don't remember, like a derailment from what was agreed, you can quickly call one another. Say, I thought we agreed. That you can now express. I said, no, it's not like that. Doing this is what happened. Though we agreed this, but then we are not exploring this. But you can say, okay, yes, I know we agreed this, and there is documentation to validate it. So many of times people just get to those partnership calls, you talk, you exchange, but no documentation. So that's another big mistake you make. So document, exchange those documented reports that domiciles what was agreed at that call, right? And if after that call you now see that there is need to end the call, the partnership, after you have explored what the issues are, you get on that call where you're not saying, thank you so much. Now we now see that there is not need to now, bring this to a close. And that, of course, after this call, you will receive, a written mail, but you will not just send it, because you know why? Let me say something. That today's partnership engagement didn't work out doesn't mean in the nearest future there cannot be another positive engagement from the same stream. So don't shut doors. Don't slam doors because somehow there was just a misalignment in this current partnership agreement. Walk around things. Walk around things. Find, let's walk around this. Let's at least see what can work. Learn the lessons from that engagement. And let's be clear that we learned the lessons. What worked, where we missed it. Then we go back, build better. And if you still want to nurture that relationship, we can come back and say, let's now see how we can explore this. But don't just slam the door, thinking that, let's just do away with it. Again, it's not good that even in the nearest future. In the nearest future, you may be surprised that that previous partner may not be in a room, that the person is a critical stakeholder, critical decision maker to you garnering an opportunity. What then happens? Because you have shut the door, you have misbehaved. You know your own is just finished that day. There is no English you will speak. There is no data. It's true. There is no data you will show that we are doing the work. There's no impact report you will produce, story. People don't know. Thank God. There was a viral video of this woman, Adeswa, this woman with the School of Hard Knocks. If you can remember that viral video, the woman Adeswa with the guy from the School of Hard Knocks. Do you remember there was something she said that if there's something you have to say to anyone as something you must hold on, she said human connections. Can anyone recall it? She said it there, human connections. Never despite human connections. So many of the parties, all these big wigs consolidate is that you see them, they can just go to a place, a restaurant together, and they're just stand over just water, over a glass of wine. They say, hey, and there's this opportunity, they're discussing $1 million funds right there over a glass of wine, but you think it's deck. You think it's by deck. You understand it? That's what I said. It's important to see how you must, when you hear industry events, industry comments, you're not saying, hey, well, mommy, I'm tired, I'm not. You must plug yourself there. You must be there. Right? You must be there. You must be seen. So these people, over just a meal, they have consolidated $1 billion partnership. But you think it's by decks. The deck will come in later on in some context. But in today's world, it's by the leverage of relational intelligence. So I hope that answers the question, Mahmood.
So good, so good. You did justice, the DTB. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please let me see. What are you saying to DTB on this call? Let me see you type. Just tell her thank you. I mean, I believe we're going to have you again, on one of our sessions. Thank you so much. But I just want to tell you something. See, if you didn't hear anything here today, let the framework stay with you, right? The VALUE, the value framework. V standing for vision alignment, A standing for access and approach, L standing for leveraging strength, U standing for understanding and trust, and E standing for evaluate, GC, and evolve. So understand that. See, this framework, I want to see you use it. By the time we engage you guys later, I want to see that you're doing amazing things, with things that you've learned here today. There's something else that DTB said that I want to resound very quickly when she was speaking, and it is that a resource-rich partner with misaligned vision would cost you more than it gives. Let that sink in. Because partnership is not just about the funds, it's about, the vision. Where are we headed? In 10 years' time, will this be relevant? In 6 months' time, will this be relevant? I want to pay attention to that. Thank you so much for joining the night session. I want to believe you guys have had an amazing time. Yeah, I want to believe that you've had amazing time. What we're going to share? You're going to receive a feedback form after this call, probably later today or by tomorrow morning. We want to hear your feedback, some of the things that you've learned, the frameworks that you're having to interact with. We want to know what that is doing to your mind, and how you're going to engage that in the work that you're doing going forward. Right? Thank you so much. Also, do not forget. Let me share my screen again. Do not forget, this is the Luminary Project. Do you see? This is Luminary Project, and basically we are generically making your lives easy. If you're a social impact founder here, you are leading any amazing work. Understand that we have you at heart. You can please scan this code. This is our legit code infrastructure. It's an operating system that we have created for social impact organizations. On this website, you're able to get access, to different information. You're going to get access to partnership opportunities, get access to grants that you can write to. Donors are able to find you on this platform. And guess what? It is free. I mean, who else would give you this kind of free thing if it's not TLP? So please engage. Ensure that you're scanning the code, and then you get yourself registered so that you can explore the opportunities that we are bringing to you. But we're going to get a give feedback form. We need your feedback. Also you can please scan the code on your screen and let us know what you think about this webinar. Was it a good use of your time? Did you get value? Because we would like to give DTB money, so I will know I'm going to increase our appreciation quota to her. Right? It's been an amazing time. Get to touch with us. Follow us on Instagram at the Luminary Project. And then you can follow us on all social media handles, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, while we're here for you. And we have amazing change makers. Some of them are in the room. If you know you're a change maker and Luminary ecosystem, please respond with an emoji. If you scan this code, you're going to see all of the amazing work that they do across different social development organizations. So begin, we talked about healthy interdependence, healthy collaborations, healthy competitions. Yes, we do that here. So please scan the code, see the amazing work you're doing. You could want be looking for volunteers, looking for partners. We have all of this in our ecosystem, and this is an opportunity for you to leverage. So if you are doing an amazing work in education, you want to start looking for people who are also in the educational sector with you, that you can do something with, going forward, and then Gonna be an amazing time. And also you can donate to change makers, right? Or also if you also get on our on Legit Good, you're also able to receive donations from people that get to go through your process and the things that you do. And all of this is coming to you free of charge. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you next month. We're going to have another session of this next month. So TLP Web Masterclasses happens once every month. The theme for next month will be announced very soon. You get that in your emails. You know, if you sign up on this call, definitely you get access to that. So please prepare, invite other change makers. I'm sure you've seen that we're not playing at TLP, right? So by next month, I want to see that these numbers triple. You see the numbers triple so that more people can get access to this value that we are bringing. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed my time being your host. My name remains Jasper Omagemi. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.